I looked out at the 200 people gathered in the ballroom of the Beverly Hills venue that night, their faces flushed with expensive champagne and assumed good wishes. I looked at his profile, Marcus, my handsome, smug fiancé, standing beside me. This was it, the climax of a 2-year performance. He thought this was the peak of his life. His engagement to me, the ultimate status symbol for a man destined for partner at one of the top law firms right here in Los Angeles. He was standing here, basking in the golden glow of his success, completely unaware that the applause was about to become the silence of his professional execution. He thought I was standing here, ready to gush about our future, but I was standing here ready to detonate his life. Because by the time I was finished with this toast, he would lose his career, his family's respect, and his highly valuable reputation in this city forever. Marcus and I were not just a couple. We were an investment portfolio. Every decision was calculated. The high-rise apartment with the panoramic Los Angeles skyline view, the expensive car leases, the diamond ring that weighed down my hand. Our life was a series of curated photographs, all designed to advertise two things: success and imminent partnership. He called it optimizing our social footprint. I called it suffocation. I worked in luxury brokerage marketing, meaning I understood the currency of appearances better than any. Marcus played the role of the dedicated, brilliant lawyer perfectly. He never missed a gala, never said the wrong thing to a senior partner, and never failed to remind me of the /text 60-hour weeks he pulled down at his firm's enormous, glass-fronted office downtown. The first crack was microscopic. It happened 3 months ago. We were at dinner, a /text $500 meal at a new spot in West Hollywood, and I caught a single text notification on his luxurious watch. Just 2 words and a name I didn't recognize. I saw the color drain from his face as he snatched his wrist back, a primal, defensive jerk that spoke volumes. He laughed it off as a misdirected case file update, but the tremor in his voice was a lie. That night, I couldn't sleep. I just stared at the ceiling, replaying the moment, acknowledging for the first time that the man I was planning to marry was a stranger, wrapped in a high thread count facade. The internal conflict began instantly. Was I being paranoid? Was the stress of the wedding getting to me? I ignored it, but the lie once planted metastasized. The next month, the ultimate test arrived. Marcus announced a major 4-day trip up to San Francisco for a complex deposition, a case he claimed was monumental for his career. I bought him a new travel bag and wished him luck. But when he returned, he was subtly different. He was too relaxed, too disconnected, and he made one fatal, careless mistake. Cleaning out his briefcase before his next meeting, I found the crumpled receipt. It wasn't the staid corporate hotel he always used near the financial district. It was the Fairmont, a luxurious, romantic spot right on the coast. My hand was shaking so badly I could barely read the print. But the charges were damning: $3,000 for a 4-day stay, complete with late-night room service and a very specific, expensive bottle of champagne I knew he only bought for celebrations. The final, damning detail: the bill didn't have the law firm's account number on it. It had Marcus's personal card. He had manufactured a 4-day alibi, likely booking a cheaper, refundable flight to satisfy the firm's administrative trail while actually spending the time differently. I became a phantom in my own home. My investigation became an obsession. I knew I couldn't trust him, but I needed definitive proof, the kind that couldn't be argued away by a smooth-talking Los Angeles defense attorney. I spent nights researching forensic data recovery. It took one desperate night while he was at a late-night meeting. I accessed his old tablet using an archive password. The evidence was there, not just in texts, but in an unsecured social media account. The paralegal from a rival firm, a name I now knew was Chloe, was confirmed. They weren't just hooking up, they were planning a secret future together, and the timeline overlapped significantly with our engagement. The messages were explicit cold and calculated, detailing how quickly he would dump the LA Ice Queen once his partnership was secured. I didn't scream or cry. I felt a cold, clear resolve. My mind immediately went to legal strategy. He had used me to climb the ladder, and his punishment had to be proportional to his public ambition. The revenge had to be total. A private breakup would only protect him. He deserved a consequence as public as his ego. I quietly created a highly encrypted file on a pristine white USB stick, labeling it vindication. This was my only remaining asset. I spent the next 2 weeks perfecting the performance. The engagement party itself was held at a ridiculous, glass-fronted venue overlooking the Los Angeles basin, a tribute to Marcus's ego. Every person there was a strategic contact, the firm's managing partner, rival attorneys, major financial clients. The stakes could not have been higher. I acted the part of the devoted fiancé flawlessly. I smiled, accepted compliments, and ensured everyone saw me standing proudly by his side. All the while, the USB drive sat in the sleek designer purse clutched in my hand. I even approached the maintenance guy and politely explained I had a surprise personal slideshow I wanted to integrate during my toast, handing him the drive. The time for my toast came. My heart was not racing, it was frozen. I walked to the mic, the room falling silent in anticipation of sentimental fluff. I started sweetly, talking about commitment and the ambitious future we planned in Los Angeles. I looked Marcus directly in the eye, and for the first time, I saw a flicker of genuine fear in his eyes. Then I pivoted. I thanked the A/V team for setting up the screens. I asked them to switch to my custom slideshow. The room went dark. The first image wasn't of us. It was a giant, unmistakable screenshot of Marcus's text to Chloe. Just a few more months until I can finally dump the LA Ice Queen. The next image, the /text $33000 hotel bill from San Francisco. The final image, a photo of them kissing on a yacht, tagged Weekend Getaway CA. The music stopped. The murmurs turned into outright chaos. Marcus's face went from white to crimson. The most damning reaction came from the senior partner, Mr. Davidson. He didn't yell. He just set his champagne glass down on the table, the quiet clink echoing through the silence. It was a sound of professional, surgical disgust. Marcus lunged at the podium, but I was already gone, tossing the mic aside. I walked out past the security guards, who were frozen in disbelief, and into the cool, dark Beverly Hills night. The scandal was immediate and total. By morning, my slideshow had been filmed by a dozen guests and was circulating online. The law firm canceled his partnership track before noon. He was placed on indefinite leave, citing the public scandal and moral turpitude. The damage to his reputation in the Los Angeles legal community, where image is everything, was terminal. My divorce filing was filed within the week, citing the specific evidence from the San Francisco trip. He tried to fight it, but the overwhelming, undeniable public documentation, the very thing he prized, destroyed his legal standing. The emotional toll was immense, but the external cost for Marcus was catastrophic. He lost his high-rise apartment and was forced to move back to his parents' place outside of the Los Angeles metro area. His entire professional network, built over a decade of strategic networking, evaporated overnight. I realized that the revenge was a form of self-preservation. I had shed the toxicity and the burden of living his lie. I looked at the empty spaces he left, the empty chair, the clean desk, the silent apartment. He had left despair in his wake, but the ultimate consequence was paid by him. My life began again in the aftermath of that detonation. The bitterness of the betrayal lasted only a few weeks. What replaced it was a fierce, sweet taste of freedom. I traded the high-rise view for a simple, quiet life, reclaiming my name and my peace right here in California. I chose authenticity over the suffocating pressure of ambition. I found a new community that valued honesty, not asset allocation. My story is about the day I chose to set myself free. The sourness of his toxic life was worth the sweet, clean consequence I delivered. And for the first time in years, the sun rising over Los Angeles felt like a new start, not just a beautiful backdrop for a lie.